is Harold H.B. Bell, and I am the co-host of The Spectrum, and this is a podcast intended to make sure that you understand everything and anything that there is to know on the autism spectrum. I'm here with Dr. Jane Yip, the founder of Autism Parent Care, and we're creating this series, and we've been discussing everything from what is autism, how do we detect it, early diagnosis, early treatment, and right now, we want to talk about applied behavior analysis, some of the therapy that we use here at Autism Parent Care. It is a great resource and a great tool to use with our children, but parents, you have to understand, we cannot do this alone. We do a great job between the 3, 4, 5 hours that we have your children every day, but there are some things that you can learn to take home with you, where on your weekends and your nights, your child is going to be receiving some of the same tools and some of the same therapy that we apply. Dr. Yip, this is one of the most important things that we talked about when I first met you over 4 years ago. You told me about Autism Parent Care, and I left out scratching my head talking about, why we should call this Autism Parent Care. Please elaborate, and only like Dr. Yip can do, please.
Okay, well, when I first registered for a name for my company, you know, the word behavior came up, and there are lots of companies that has behavior as their title. But at the same time, what I want to emphasize is, yes, we are targeting behavior, we're improving behavior, but really, the people involved should be taking center stage. The person, the party that should be taking center stage are the parents. You know, the parents have to do so much. Right? It's a tall order, really, to have your child that you expect to be so-called neurotypical or normal, and the next thing you know, you enter into this adventure with them that you are neither informed nor are prepared for it, and the next thing you know, you take them to rounds of therapy, diagnosis, doctor's visit. You may be changing their diet, you may be wrestling with them daily, trying to get them to shower or whatever it is. You are exhausted. So I want to pay tribute to the parent. And in fact, it is the parents who will be dealing with autism for the rest of their life with their children and also the adults too. So I call this Autism Parent Care because I want the message of autism, and I consider this a valuable message. It's not a message of disability, it's a message of tenacity, of determination, and most of all, it's a message of love. This is a place where you express your love for your child, you fight for them, with them, and you will get to the other end of the rainbow. So Autism Parent Care is basically saying thank you for the parents who have to go through this. You are not alone, this is a message. We are here to care for you. We are here to help you lighten the burden and to make your journey worthwhile. And it is, you see, but to really make it such that you do not feel like you are kind of fighting a battle on your own. You definitely are not. So rather than behavior in the title for my company, I chose Autism Parent Care because it is more fitting.
And we have to love you guys because, you know, the parents that are out there listening, we do understand, much like Dr. Yip said, when we are dealing in a short window of time, dealing with some of these children, especially those who are on the far end of the spectrum and have some challenging issues. We can only imagine what it's like 24/7, 365 to have to deal with some of these challenges. Dr. Yip, what would you think is the most devastating and harsh reality that parents are dealing with once they find out they have a child on the spectrum?
Okay, I'm going to basically repeat an anecdote that I have heard, and this is the anecdote. One of the parents looked at her daughter and said, you know, this is my daughter, she will never go to prom. This is my daughter, she will never go to college, like the neighbor's daughter. This is my daughter, she would most likely not get married or hold down a job. That is devastating. To have to accept that kind of harsh reality in your child, I would say.
And so After that harsh reality and the reality sets in, that's when Autism Parent Care and the resources from some of these other great agencies around the city are there to help, offer some infrastructure and some resources so parents aren't feeling like, as you mentioned, living this out alone. These tools that we use, and we've been talking about applied behavior, and I would like to size it up and say, as I mentioned, training and chaining and repetition over and over and over to get the children who might not have that general link of this goes there, but to keep getting them to do it over and over. What kind of tools and resources can we give to the parents at home so they will understand you can do pretty much what we do to keep that chain linked up? Because sometimes the worst days of our week are Monday, because after they leave us on Friday and come back in here after 48 hours or 72 hours of no therapy, it's almost like having to reset.
Correct. First of all, we've got to understand why people behave the way they do. And generally, they behave the way they do because they can. So you need to know under what circumstance, right, will bring about one kind of behavior and then versus the other kind of behavior. So, and it is basically not a mystery when you understand that. And the other thing I'm going to say to parents is routine, routine, routine. You need to tell them what's ahead. Do not spring things on them, because what autism is difficulty transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as long as you have a stable routine, they know what's happening. Anything that is outside of that, you probably can figure out. They may not feel good or something else, right? So, the more you know what's going on, and the more you know how one circumstance produce one behavior, the other circumstance produce another behavior, these are good things in your toolbox. So we are going to take you through one tool at a time. And we're not going to confuse you all at once with heavy-duty theory, of course, and for those who are interested in theory. However, we're going to have a separate segment, but what we're going to do in our Spectrum series is hands-on, practical, no jargon instructions.
I love it. And one of the things, I guess the first little tidbit any parent out there, any caregiver can notice right now is when we use applied behavior analysis, find out what your child or that child that you're looking out for is most attracted to. That is the beginning of helping this thing work at home, because we're going to use that as a bartering tool to make sure that this child does what we're asking for to get what he wants. So those are some simple things that we're going to be teaching you, as Dr. Yip said. Where can parents and caregivers, Jane, we're giving information like this on the Spectrum. Where else can parents go if they want to find out some information about what to do, where to go, and how to respond if they have a child who's autistic?
Okay, I would suggest that you come to our website, autismparentcare.com, and in there is info@autismparentcare.com. There is a message box, and you are welcome to email us any questions. Our phone number is also on our website. Welcome to leave us a message, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
And thank you, Dr. Yip. This is the Spectrum, and as I mentioned, we're going to continue with this great information in this series. This was an introduction to who we are and what we do. As we move forward, as Dr. Jane Yip says, we are going to be giving you some real hands-on instruction. We're not going to make it polluted. We're not going to make it difficult. We're going to give you one information bite at a time so you can swallow it, digest it, and make it work for you. You've been listening to The Spectrum.